Alright, update on the trash can. I have finally finished it. Oh, come on. Stupid bulb. I guess this one died now. Alright, I placed the one in here, then this one dies. Great. Alright, that's a new project, but anyway, got a coin mech. Someone spray painted over it, so that was really fun filing all the little intricate parts to get the thing working again and breaking all the spray painted parts free. I bought off of eBay. I thought it was really nice condition until I realized guy just spray painted over it. Thank God he didn't was smart enough not to spray paint over the little leveler right there. But it works. It works half the time. I'm still oiling stuff and doing all the stuff and make sure not to oil certain parts, but oiling all the parts that need to be oiled. So that's the issue. I can't oil certain parts and it's just gummed up and I can't really take it apart. So, because it's all riveted, some parts are riveted together, so I just have to live with it. Anyway, I fixed that counter right there. It's now actually working because before it wasn't. That there's a little cam on the back here and it spins. It's like an offset circle. It's almost like an S shape if you're looking at it like this, but it's a full circle and it attaches to this cam, or actually this part right there attaches on the other side. I can't get my phone in there to show you, but trust me. And you have to align it. So what I did is I put it into play. I turn the jukebox off, so don't do anything. I take those two screws that attach to the cam of the counter, because basically it ticks like that. It doesn't go in a circle. It moves in and out like that. And I'm sorry, anyway, moves this way or this way. Basically, it's just a little movement, and that toggles it. It just goes like that, and it counts. So you have to align that, and that took a process. This counter was also not working at all. The solenoids were working. I could hear them firing and, like, dropping at the end, but I had no idea what the heck it was. Turns out it is a credit counter. So when you put a credit in here, it tallies up a here, and it also adds a little counter. I don't know why they did it like this. I'm going to talk about later, but anyway, it adds a thing. And then when you make a selection on the wall box, this will also tally. I guess it's like a coin counter to see how much money you made with the jukebox, with the wall box and the thing, or how many cents. It's always by 5 cents. So if you put a nickel in there, or sorry, a quarter, it will tally 5 times in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The little switches, and then it'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It'll add 5 counters to the counter right there. So if you have the end, which I haven't reset it, actually, I did reset it. So right now it is at 71. So 71 times 5, I don't know, and that's how many, or no, 75 divided by 5 or whatever. I don't know what the thing is. I would say, no, times 5, yeah, and that would be the amount of cents you have. And then you have to divide that by 100 to see how many dollars you have, or the change. So that's what it is. It doesn't work because there's little clips that are screwed tight. That same clip that attaches to that, somehow that one didn't break, but it's a very thin piece of, it's tin or something very malleable. But anyway, it cracked on both sides. So there's one solenoid here, one solenoid on each side, and on each side of the counter, and it tallies here, it tallies there, and it cracked, so I had to epoxy it, and then epoxy also broke free, so it's not working anymore all the time. It will work when it does, but I'm not worried about it because it's going into service. I'm gonna have a coin box here anyway. I'm just gonna take it out anyway, so it's done now. It's going to be going to Salvage Goods in downtown Easton. When they sell my other one, this will be replacing it, and this will be theirs permanently for anyone to walk in and play. I have been just letting it run for hours a day, seeing if anything is wrong. and what I can do to fix it, like the counters and also the latch solenoid, or sorry, the release solenoid that latches, and when you make a selection, it spins around. Then on the back there, it has a little arm that goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like counts up in this direction. The latch solenoid, basically what was happening, it was tallying, but it wasn't moving. When you hit the release solenoid, it locks it into place, and then when you release power to the release solenoid, it drops down. I don't know why they just call it the latch solenoid, because it latches in place. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because it needs to be turned on in order to activate, and has to be turned off in order to release. A lot of stupid names that they named everything. And then, of course, every single thing. So there's a latch solenoid here, there's a latch solenoid, there's 3 latch solenoids in the back, and the whole mechanism, because it's divided in 3 parts. So all these things have the same name depending on what manual you get. So it's a lot of fun to work on because everything is called the same, even though every single part and solenoid is a different ohm value, which makes it extremely fun going through the schematic. If you have a full wiring diagram like I do in mine, it makes it extremely fun trying to find the thing because everything's labeled the same. It's like 7 latch solenoids. It's just like which one is which. The speaker's fine. I got a new, what was it? 5U4 G tube, not G. I don't know why they just say GT. I'm not sure the difference between the two. I guess it's just manufacturing. But I got that because it was glowing blue, and I knew there was air inside the tube, or it was getting gassy. Place that sounds a lot better. I know it's a lot louder, so I turned it down. The other tube was a lot quieter. I'm guessing because it had air in the tube. The 2050 tube is a military like other one, but all the other including the radio tubes inside there, because I don't want to, I want to make sure this thing can pick up the farthest. Like I said, with the regular Coke bottle tubes, vacuum tubes, it would probably not go as far. I want to make sure this thing has the best receiving quality, sound quality, and everything as possible. Another thing you have to keep in mind is the sound is only going to sound as good as the record. Another thing you have to keep in mind. So, a lot of things. Also, a fun noise I found. I think it's because the solenoid is dropping, because it picks it up and the gravity pulls it down. So, another thing you have to keep in mind, if your counter isn't working and the counter is tallying, like you can move it and it works, you have to keep in mind there's these little pins that it'll pull it up, but gravity has to pull it back down to reset. If it's gummed up, like the one for the, what do you call it, the wall box, since this thing was never used with the wall box, especially that one, I can tell it was never used with the wall box, as they put it in, but they never installed wall box because it was seized on the bottom. It means that it was sitting for an extremely long time. I mean, the other one was just really loose, which means that most people just went up and selected. I guess wall boxes weren't that crazy. But if I push this little button right here, which will tally it, the thing, it's like this fun little like click sound, and it does it every single time. And it's like almost an iconic like classic jukebox sound that I've never heard before, except for like when people film jukeboxes and they put a coin in. That's the sound, or at least I've noticed. My dog is going crazy, of course. But yeah, here I will choose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and then you can see the counter over there. Another thing I'll show you now is this guy. Hopefully it'll work. See, it's halfway. I think it's still broken. There you go. I added the credit. You saw it tally down. Same thing with the wall box. Other side doesn't work because I guess it was seized. It's still seized. Doesn't work very well. So I don't rely on it. I just count the, actual coins, because of course someone could be, it could also fail, not work, it's unreliable. Rather just actually see the coins. But it is working great. Needles sound great. I have to get a replacement needle because this one's wearing out. Here, actually, I'll just close this up. you haven't seen my other videos, it is all 78s. I haven't not converted it yet. All of it is original, not factory, but like I replaced the capacitors, resistors, checked them, tubes have been swapped out and checked. But it is as original as you can probably get one of these working. The amplifier was original when I found it, and it sounded perfect. I've never, ever, and speaking of this thing, is 80 years old. It's from 1947. It's actually 80. Is it 81, I guess? But anyway, basically, it sounded crystal clear. I've never found an amplifier. All the capacitors is wax and electrolytic. I was going to replace them all because I was like, this thing sounds crystal clear. Well, how is it so, nice? And this is interfering. It was really crystal clear. Bass and treble were perfect. No interference, no leakage on the tubes. Tubes were fine. It was all factory original. I had no idea about that. The original selector over there I have sitting over there. That sits on the bottom. And basically where the other one is. And it doesn't have a tally because it's just a standard model. But yeah. And here I have a pamphlet of an ad for all the, like the Hideaway, which I'm currently looking for. I do kind of want one. See, this is a 146 model. You have the teardrop speakers, and then the remote amplifier for the teardrop speakers, and the, what's this one called? The minor meter speaker, the minor speaker. I don't know what that's for. It's a little pamphlet of photos, and then you have, oh, where's the wall boxes? Oh, here somewhere. There they are. I have the SEEBURG wireless one, which is that one, wired one. You can do different things. I do believe, if I haven't mentioned before in my other videos, I mean, I haven't posted in so long, I don't remember. I think the remote one can work with wired ones because it has the jack for it and the fuse and the power. I've checked it, and it wires straight into there, so I'm guessing it does work with both. I do know that the wired one is only for wired wall boxes. You cannot use wireless ones with the wired one, which makes sense because you have to plug it in. But the wireless one, the remote one, I'm not sure. I haven't checked it myself. The wiring seems correct. I would assume so. So just if you do find one of these, if you want to use wall boxes, I would recommend getting the correct one for what wall box you have. But if you can't, I'm not entirely sure, but I would recommend the wireless one because you have more capabilities with it. And like I was saying before, troubleshooting actually here, which is what I did use to fix this entire thing. Oh, perfectly, I picked the right page. This is for the alignment for the wireless one. All the procedures for the bottom in there. You have to, again, there's the inside of it. You have to take a screwdriver and do all this kind of stuff. Diode meter. Here's the one I have, the wireless one, top view. I can't find a schematic for me. I want to show me a schematic. Oh, whatever, heck. There you go. I have all the wiring diagrams. It's a combination book, so it's not like page numbers like, well, that's gone now. But if you can tell, what page is this? This is page, not noted, great. This is page 162, or yeah, 1062. What's this one? I have no idea. Again, 2005. Like this is the combination one, but this is for the 146, 148 model. It tells me everything like cams and all these different things. One thing I would recommend, especially for the old transformers, make sure you're getting the right bulbs as well, but replace all of them with LEDs. This one I've replaced because I like the blue. I saw it from another video from like 5 years ago, and that one's been replaced with LEDs. These are all incandescents, these are incandescents, these are incandescents. I'm thinking of getting LEDs, but they're just so expensive because there's like, I think 50 something, 52, I believe, or I'm not entirely sure. There's 6 in the top already, and then when you have them you can buy them in bulk, but it's still a lot of money for LEDs. So, and especially with the power, there's 6-volt small bulbs, and I'm not entirely sure. It does have a fuse on the transformer in case something does go wrong. It'll blow the fuse. And I made sure all the fuses are good, correct values, correct everything. So, I mean, just try to do everything you can to help this thing run better. lubricate, especially the trays. When I bought this thing, the trays would slide out and then they'd fly out because it's spring-loaded, which you do not want to do. I did that because I didn't know what I was doing, and I did damage the counter on selection number 4. I did take the counter apart and bend it back, the pin, because when it goes over, it tallies it, pushes it in right here. If I can even simulate it, where's the little teeny... oh, you see one of the pins right there, right on top, that weird piece of metal sticking out. If I click it, it'll add that up, which is when the tray slides in, it tallies 1. I bent the 4th one because it flung out and bent it. But anyway, you really have to lubricate the inside here. Remember the inside and here. I have to clean these because they're dirty, and yeah, that's great. I haven't done that yet. What else do you have to do? Make sure this is adjusted. I believe this one is the weight of the tone arm. So you take a screwdriver and you adjust the weight with a little meter. I believe it's 5 to 7 grams of downforce. I don't think that's very good, but it feels about, it feels pretty heavy actually. I don't like it, but just the way they've built and the way it works. If you have it too late, it's just going to skip because there's a lot of residual force, because there's a shaft that runs all the way down to the bottom or middle of the jukebox, and you have to then it does all this mechanical crazy stuff that I don't really want to get down into. Maybe another video later about how it rejects and sets it back, moves it, because it's automatic. It moves it back when it's in rest. This is as far as it'll go. I don't want to bend the rod, but you can, you shouldn't be able to, when this is rest and the lights are turned off, if you have the switch correctly set on the back, this shouldn't move. It should go here and stop moving. That's when you know it's not broken, or if it's aligned properly. What else? You will have to clean the contacts back here. This, I don't want to touch anything. That you have to clean. I do zip tie this because I don't want this connector coming undone. Where else? I can't get where the heck is my finger? There. Right there. That box right there. That box right there. You have to turn off the jukebox. Be smart. And take this whole unit. There's 4 screws here. There should be 3 screws on the bottom. I have 2 on each side. Someone lost this one, I guess, from previous repair. Didn't put it back in. Makes my life a little easier. You got to remove all that, and then you unplug the big selector plug on the back. Unplug it. You pick it up. Once you undo this cable, you have to undo this cable, which runs all the way down for the record playing, because it is mechanical. It's like a little speedometer cable. Unscrew it, pull it out, done. And then you just pull it out because there's only one plug that goes to it. Sorry, the big one. This is if you just want to remove this part. You don't have to undo this at all. My bad. And then you just clean all the contacts, do all that. You have to clean sand. I would get like a very fine file and go through, or like a 1000 grit sandpaper. Once you're done, make sure it's really flat, because you don't want uneven surfaces on contacts, because that can cause, because it's very sensitive. I have an issue with my coin chute where it goes down, it tallies it. Actually, I can probably simulate it. It tally. You can hear it go click, 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 click for 5, but it just doesn't. If it does work, it'll be a miracle, because I only do it once. So this is what do you know? It does work somehow. Of course, when it's on video, it works. That should be doing. You hear a click, 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 click. That should tally down there 5. If it is working, this should be 5. And then you're able to select. Then it goes down 4, 3, 2, 1. If your contact back here, if it's dirty, what happens there is if it's at 0, it opens the contacts. There's a little, on this little flywheel, it's like a ratchet. There's a little bump. When it's at 0, it opens the contacts. It means that it cuts all power to the selector. It cuts, I think, the 5 to 25 volts. I don't know. I haven't measured it or ground to these. It cuts the power or ground to all the selector switches. And when you put a coin in, it closes it. If it's that dirty, when you put a coin in, if everything is working, if that connection is dirty, you're not going to get constant selections. It won't work. It'll make a selection. It'll hear it. It tallies it, but it won't make a selection. Or it just won't do anything at all. You press it, nothing happens. That's what happened with me. I had take it all apart, because I remember I put a coin in, make a selection, it would sometimes work, sometimes doesn't, and then if you tally it up. You have to align this from the inside. If this is out of alignment, as you can see, it's on number 4, perfectly straight. This is like at number 5. I don't think there's any other way to do it besides taking this out, undoing the screw, and then moving the dial a little bit, and then tightening the screw back. And then you put in, out, in, out, in, out, and then you take this whole thing apart. And after like an hour, you should get it. This thing, which was an issue before, if this is happening, this gets out of alignment. There's a little clip that pops in, and it's just friction fit. This moves so fast that eventually, if those pads, like the little felt washers and plastic washers, because they dry out and they thin, you have a loose part. It'll go out of alignment. This will say, when it goes back to 0, it'll say 1, or it'll say 20, or it'll be off. What I did is I took epoxy, because I aligned it, made sure it was aligned, took epoxy, and I went around just on the top part, not on the bottom, because the bottom doesn't spin. If you do that, or it does spin, the whole shaft spins, you will screw yourself up. Only the top, or sorry, not the top part, where the edge of the pin is, not on the actual post, the edge of the pin and the plastic, you have to do that. But after you're done, it should be working.